They can do it. They'll do it eventually, you guys. They'll make it one day. One day they'll get to Sora's level.
They actually have changed. Like, I've been watching them do this for a while, and it's
They are. This is the power of machine learning right here. They are getting better.
All right, so what are we doing here?
So today, who is it? It's me, it's Joey, it's Aiden.
A.
We're all here. We're gonna beat Kingdom Hearts 2, God willing.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're gonna finish it all. We're not gonna do the secret boss and stuff. We will see credits roll today. We will conclude the narrative. This isn't like a near situation where the credits doesn't mean you're done. Like, we're gonna finish the story. All the optional stuff is just gameplay. We're not missing. We are gonna do everything. We're gonna see and do everything of narrative quality and importance.
And then who knows after that?
Who knows
It's
after
up in
that?
the air.
Who
Just
knows?
kind of like Donald and Goofy right now.
Yeah, that was a good joke, my man. Chop busted, fellow
I'm just
gamer.
trying to figure out why Donald.
Jumps ass first.
Yes.
See, that's what I was talking about. Also, it feels like Goofy keeps jumping higher. I think he's not.
I also, if you look at Donald, his tail is kind of wiggling. I think that might be kind of a reference to, like, he's a duck and he doesn't have wings, but sometimes in the cartoons he'll, like, kind of attempt to fly by, like, flapping his tail feathers really
Yeah,
fast.
maybe.
I assume that's where that's going. I feel like the people who animate these characters have a better understanding of these characters than the people who write them for these games sometimes. Well, well, I mentioned this previously, but, like, oftentimes the Disney characters in these games can feel kind of watered down. Compared to, like, Donald has never had, like, a real rager.
Yeah.
He gets mad in that one scene where Goofy dies,
Yeah.
but it's like, he gets mad and that's a comedy thing, not a drama thing, because
Yeah.
he thinks his friend is dead. And he's never, like,
Yeah.
turned red, right?
Yeah.
But when he's knocked out, when he wakes up and gets back on his feet, he's like, wah, and he jumps up and down on one foot and does like a boxing thing. Like, kind of like he looks like he kind of doing that, but that's the only time that it really happens. Anyway, so last time, we did the 100 Acre Wood, we did Tron, we did everything else. Joey and I did a bunch of optional stuff off screen. Now it's time for the real man's video game. We're gonna do reels, I guess, I don't know, like everything we do today is gonna be infinitely easier than everything we did last time, Joey.
Boy, I hope so.
I mean, there's gonna be a couple of bosses that'll be kind of challenging, but I doubt there's gonna be, we spent, 2 hours on that one encounter, which I'm sure everybody hated because, like,
boy.
we could have done it in 2 seconds. So we've done this strategy.
I can skip. Whatever.
They can skip it if they want to. It doesn't matter.
They can
Anyway,
skip to the end.
but before we actually get started today on this, we have one cutscene that we haven't watched yet, which was during the Battle of 1,000 Heartless. There were those 2 cutscenes that I cut out. One of them I always knew were, like I mentioned, I'm not going to go into explanation about this again. If you haven't watched those episodes, too bad, go back and watch them. I'm not going to give you guys context again, just because we gotta get moving here. I kind of knew where I wanted to put that other scene where Zigbar is talking with Zexion about the Chamber of Repose or whatever that Ansem is talking about. That Xemnas hangs out in, that is. But I never really knew where I wanted to put this one necessarily, because again, like in my head, I thought that these were in separate places later in the game for years when I was watching them independently as just like Final Mix Japanese uploaded cutscenes.
Right.
Until I realized their placement. As best I can figure, this probably works best here right before the end game starts. So we're gonna watch it here.
Okay.
So here we are in the computer room in Ansem's laboratory, and a mysterious man has arrived.
Oh boy. With that appearance, who knows?
And he shot the security camera with his lightning bolts.
It's a crazy looking disc.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? So this is another instance of like where this scene must take place earlier in the continuity. So he puts in like a username, right? And then puts in I guess, I don't know, it's not 7 passwords. In my head, I was thinking it was...
Why?
It's a bunch of different passwords. I think it's meant to be kind of like how the password to the DTD database was supposed to be all the Princesses of Heart or whatever, but that was only 6, so I don't know. I think that's his own user, right?
Sure.
He logged in as another instead of as Ansem. Anyway, so he walks through the door thingy, right? Just as a point of reference, this is Xemnas. That's not going to be mysterious much longer, but this scene happens in such a way that this scene happens before we see his face in game, right?
Yep.
Right.
It's honestly a really bizarre situation where these scenes feel like they're for people who've played the game more than once, who already have context and know these people, but they decided, well, also, we're going to put them before the face reveal, and so for people who may be playing Final Mix first, we're not going to reveal the faces ahead of time. It's a very strange decision, in my personal opinion. But anyway.
Yep. Stuff's going on.
Are those like his metal bits clinking, or are there like bells somewhere in this?
He has little zipper things bouncing,
okay.
and he's got his boots. He's got his high heel boots. Because all the organization, they aren't high heels, but they all have boots with the really pronounced heels.
Yeah.
I really hope this entire scene, like, it just goes at this pace of him going down. Like, I hope we get to see the entire thing.
Close.
Darn.
He's not gonna be at the bottom of the stairs after this cut though.
Oh.
We got a little bit more stair walking to go, or ramp walking to go, I suppose.
How intriguing.
Yeah. He's gonna get there eventually. And remember again that this scene happens during the Battle of 1,000 Heartless when you're rushing to go help everybody.
Yep.
They decided to just insert this.
Master Ansem, regarding the experiment I presented the other day, with your permission, I'd like to proceed.
I forbid it! Forget this talk of doors and the heart of all worlds. That place must not be defiled.
But Master Ansem, I've been thinking.
They are not. Those thoughts are best forgotten.
So I want to pause it for just 1 second. That was the dialogue that happened during the flashback that we saw when Mickey's like, right, I remember who that guy is now, right? Again, in normal, if I hadn't changed this scene would have played before you got context for what they were talking about. You wouldn't have known who Master Ansem was or who Xehanort was.
But it's
you just would have heard this dialogue. Yeah, so it's a weird thing because like this scene goes from really ineffective to really effective because this is something you get a lot in film where repetition of elements can change their meaning, right? When this is introduced and you have no context, you're just trying to keep up and you don't really know what's going on. When you're doing this and you're watching this guy just slowly walking and these words are playing back in his head, you're like, oh, that was 10 years ago and he still resents that. Like he's still upset about it, right? That he got shut down, that this guy like told him what he tried to tell him what to do, right?
Yeah.
Followed up by that really abrupt door opening and then actually some really good cinematography here in a second. Like there's actually some really good shots here.
Ooh.
Oh. So those are prison cells.
Remember this is where they said they were conducting their experiments.
Yeah.
So we can presume this is where they were holding people when they abducted them before they killed them. And then this is the Chamber of Repose, as mentioned in that other scene, right? But again, the problem is that in vanilla, I just paused it again for reference for myself when I'm editing. Not in vanilla, in original Final Mix, where before I've edited this for you, you see this and go, huh? And then the next scene explains what's going on, kind of. In the vaguest terms that you guys, because we just rewatched that scene, it's already really vague. It's just he's in a room talking to someone, right? So like, I remember I mentioned previously that like I always assumed these scenes were the other way around, and I was like, it's really stupid how they organize themselves. And then I realized it was stupider than I thought. I was complaining about like it's a really stupid setup that. Well, I guess I'll let this go first. We'll keep going. So he sits down in his chair.
It has been far too long, friend.
Is that Riku's?
No, that's just
a keyblade.
That's some armor sitting on the ground that we haven't seen before. That is not something you've ever seen before. It's just like some armor kind of sitting there. Now I will say for reference, if you've played Kingdom Hearts 2 Vanilla, by the ending of the game, you will have seen that armor. But playing through Final Mix for the first time, you won't have seen that first. Now, the reason I always thought that scene was kind of silly, as I originally envisioned it in my head, was I thought that the lead-in was like, I always thought it was kind of like a lame setup of like, oh, he goes in a room and talks to somebody, and that's the setup, and then the payoff is, oh, it's just a suit of armor on the ground. It's like, okay, great, more, like that setup was a setup for more setup, right? Like it didn't lead to anything. But the alternative is he goes and sits there and talks to some armor, and then a guy says he goes in there and talks to somebody, but I don't know who. It's like actually less effective than what I thought was ineffective. Anyway, so that's why I opted to show that stuff to you guys later on in the game as opposed to earlier.
Gotcha.
And as I've said, those scenes were added in Final Mix after they'd already started working on drafts for the next couple of games.
Yeah.
So that is predominantly sequel setup and nothing you really need to worry about right now.
Okay.
But I actually do think that the stuff of Xemnas walking down those stairs and this Capture start.
sorry.
You're fine. Not much can bother me right now. I'm pretty numb inside.
Hey, welcome to the club.
Guess what, guys? For some reason, immediately after we finished that bit with Zemnos in the room with the ramp, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. For some reason, our audio cut off completely, and we didn't notice until about 30 minutes later.
Woo!
You asked me how
I
it
was
was,
messing
and
with
I
it.
said I was dying and being dead, and now we all are.
Well, you know what? We're not gonna fake it. We're not gonna pretend like you guys haven't seen this before. We're just gonna have to,
Yeah.
we're just gonna go fast.
Oh, so that whole...
Oh yeah, no, everything,
everything.
Aiden, everything. Everything, Aiden.
Everything.
Okie dokie.
He has to prove a point now.
Have to
Again.
prove a point.
Guys, he's proving a point.
Well, you
It's
mean
a
I
valid
shouldn't
point.
do that again?
No,
No,
you
it's a
should
valid
prove
point.
it.
You should absolutely do
Do
it
it.
again.
All right, so now we'll just recap. God, this is such a crap show. I'm not gonna say the word I said a second ago off mic. Many words were said.
Many words.
Hey guys, look, it's the
Actually,
Millennium
30
Falcon
minutes worth
and
of
an
words were
X-Wing.
said off mic.
So a while ago, I made a Millennium Falcon and the X-Wing from Star Wars for this little mission. The reason that I did that was kind of well, it initially started out as a haha, this is a joke, and now I have to prove a point to people on the internet.
Yeah.
So during the Birth by Sleep streams, we got into some discussions about what is and is not allowed in Kingdom Hearts, basically, and people were like, and I appreciate this sentiment, the idea that, like, Kingdom Hearts should, I'm sure that, like, our discussion of that Zemnis cutscene probably got cut off and we're not finishing it now, but whatever, I'll go back and I'll talk about it later, who cares. I'm sure, I get the sentiment that's like, you know, Disney's a big company. Kingdom Hearts should not be, you know, whatever Disney can buy,
Yeah.
right? I get that. But I also saw people saying Star Wars and Marvel and crap like that shouldn't be in here because it's not something, it's like they have no, the phrase that I heard was they have no Disney magic, which is questionable to me, but whatever, I guess that's a matter of opinion about one of the most popular film franchises of all time that I think is very magical, but whatever. Some people said if Disney had not bought Star Wars, no one would have ever even considered it for Kingdom Hearts.
Yep.
To which my response is, while you're watching this bit, you should open up in another tab on YouTube. You should look up the final space battle from Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Aiden and Joey are now seeing this for the second time, so
Yep.
they can't react exactly, but
No, but our reactions were basically, yep.
Yes.
Yep. That
Yeah,
is.
that's
This
is
sure
the
is.
same.
this is not an homage.
No.
Let's just put it that way. This is not what you would call an homage. This is what you would call a direct ripoff or illusion or reference, depending on how generous you want to be.
Someone watched a movie and said, this is pretty sick, let's have a big one.
So for those who don't know, in Star Wars Return of the Jedi, during the very end, there's a big space battle during which many Star Destroyers, which look remarkably similar to these big white ships,
Same color scheme.
and smaller craft
Slightly
have a
lighter.
big fight around the second Death Star. After you fight in space for a while, after the Kiros fight in space for a while, flying in close to the Star Destroyers, they eventually go inside of the Death Star to destroy it. The double joke here is that I'm playing as a Millennium Falcon and an X-Wing, which is the exact grouping of people that got to the end of the sequence. But that's more of just like a haha thing. That's like
Yeah.
that's obviously a reference that I've made, not something that I'm accusing anybody of doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not accusing anybody of doing anything because this is very cool. It's just like, I don't know, I was annoyed when somebody was like, if Disney hadn't bought Star Wars, nobody ever would have even considered Star Wars for Kingdom Hearts. When I'm like, no, clearly
Somebody
Square Enix,
did.
clearly
Yeah.
Square Enix was considering Star Wars for Kingdom Hearts in 2006.
Yep. Somebody watched a movie and was like, yep,
Yo, that's some sweet stuff right there.
gonna put that in my game.
Don't mind if I
I
do.
think I'll just borrow that. Oh gosh, I don't have enough fire. Yeah, this ship is weak for this, but whatever, it's funny, so we're doing it anyway.
He's making a point.
I'm making a point,
Proving
damn it.
a point.
That's why we're replaying the last 30 minutes of this game without blind reaction audio to prove a point. I have to prove a point to people on the internet.
Oh,
Oh,
he's doing it.
oh,
Again.
oh.
Didn't make it that time, that's fine though.
Maybe you can blow it up this time.
I seriously
Doubt it.
I do, like, this ship doesn't have the
Do
raw
it.
firepower
No.
to actually destroy this thing.
Just
But
shoot
yeah,
it.
And then in the ending of that sequence, the Millennium Falcon in a single X-Wing, piloted by Wedge Antilles, I know his name because I'm a loser, get into the core of the Death Star and shoot it a bunch, and the whole thing explodes. Now here, you're on a time limit, and if you don't do enough damage to it, then a little ray shield goes up and you don't get to destroy it. But if you do enough damage to it, you fly out of it, and it explodes in the background as you all escape, and it's exactly like the movie. It is remarkably similar. Again, an intentional illusion, not something that I'm upset about. It's just like, again, it's like, I was just going to point this out because, hey, look, this is fun. And then it was like, nah, I got to prove a point.
Yep. You have to be the big man on the internet now.
Oh, and then we also had a conversation about Jacob made us watch the video that he's telling you guys to watch before we started
But
playing.
I told you it was relevant. I was like, I promised that we have a reason for showing you this.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Tron, where I deliberately tricked you into watching a
Right.
feature film.
But I don't even remember how it came up, but I said something about, like, every time I'm shown something now, I immediately assume it's going to come back at some
gonna be in
point.
Kingdom
Yeah,
Hearts.
your assumption was this is like this Star Wars is gonna show up in the end of this somehow. Is what you were saying, like.
I didn't think about this the first time,
Well,
but there's
hey.
that stupid dream that I had when I was little that you still have not explained.
I swear to God, that is not Kingdom Hearts related. That is related to something else, though.
Okay, I'll put it out there so that everyone else can be a witness to the fact that this has to be explained some point in my life while Jacob and I are friends. I had a dream when I was...
You put that as if we're gonna stop being friends. And now I'm very nervous.
Hey, maybe after today, who knows?
Depending
on
on
how
how
this
this
goes.
goes, Jacob.
life will be better.
So when I was little, I had a dream that heaven was made of sunflowers, and I don't even remember like what else I have told Jacob about that dream, but I was very small, and heaven was made out of sunflowers, and when I told him about it, he was like, interesting. And he promised that at some point I would see something and I'd be like, oh my god, it's the sunflower heaven. And I still have not.
Maybe he
We're
meant
how
when you
many
die
years
and
into
go to
this now?
Sunflower Heaven.
Well, since that, it's probably been like 3 or 4 years.
Okay,
I don't know.
yeah. And I still don't know, man. I still don't know.
I think we're almost there.
Yeah, we were talking about Star Wars being in this, but I do remember in Kingdom Hearts 1, there was that secret boss fight that
With
I
the
couldn't do with
lightsabers,
the
yeah.
lightsabers.
Yeah.
It's like people like those movies.
Yeah.
And people are like, I don't like Star Wars. It's lame and old. It's like, well, that's great. It's too bad.
Now I don't like new Star Wars because it's lame and
What
new.
did you say, Hayden?
I didn't say any. I stopped myself. I'm just
Okay.
gonna drink this water and not say a word.
Anyway, so yeah, we're now gonna sandbag some of these conversations, unfortunately, because now you guys aren't reacting to them for the first time. You've already seen them. Oops.
Yeah, we'll go fast.
Mistake.
Go through them faster.
Yeah, woohoo, skateboard. Well, I did some tricks. We're not gonna do them this
whoa.
time.
Speedrun strats. Let's go.
We're still gonna run through do all those other things really quickly, just really fast to show them off to
Yep.
people.
Hey, look, there's a puzzle piece.
Look,
They
there's
got
puzzle
them here
pieces
now.
now. They spawned
We're
in
not
now.
getting
Woohoo,
them.
yeah.
We're in a time paradox. We've already collected all of these.
A bunch
you
of
know this.
a bunch of
Twice.
Oh no! Yeah, because I've collected them on the save file we'll be loading later, and I collected them just a minute ago
Hey,
when
look.
we reloaded.
Last time we were here, it was open, but
that
Sora
bar's
was
not
too
moving.
busy.
Does that bar need to be moving?
No,
It's going. Look
moving.
up
Okay.
here. That's a
Okay.
stop prompt, not
Okay.
a.
Not a start.
You see
prompt.
here?
Uh-huh.
This timestamp. It's going.
Okay.
If the number go up, the playthrough go up.
So last time we were here, the door was open, but Sora was like, "No, I'm too busy." So now the door's open, and he's not too busy.
Exactly.
So here we are.
Joey, this is such a great recap. It's like
Yep.
I feel like you've like done this before.
Yep. Except I didn't do it. You did it last time.
The other thing we were
We're
talking about during
altering the
that.
timeline.
I made this joke already during the Battle of 1,000 Heartless, like not that day after the Tron stuff, when you guys were like, no more trust forever, and I was like, like everything was just a work, and I was like, I can't wait. I made a joke. I was like, I can't wait for the Greendale Community College level in Birth by Sleep, which I think you missed at the time because it was really
Yeah.
quick, but like that was really funny. I thought anyway. I was pretty happy with that joke.
we got
The music
jokes.
is really confused. I'm going really fast, but the enemies are keeping up with me, so it's going in and out and in and out, and it doesn't know what it's doing.
So the other places go up, but this goes down.
Yeah, look, guys, look. It's
Look,
the bit,
we
it's
were
the bit where you
here.
fight. It's the bit where you fight the VV clones.
Yeah,
Woohoo,
Vivi.
yeah.
Couldn't remember his name.
Woohoo, yeah. We're gonna keep
Little blue
going.
dude.
He's the guy from Final Fantasy IX, and this is really out of character. Woohoo, yeah. It was
Hey,
gonna
you
go.
saw a Dragoon. Monster Hunter's out. You get the Dragoon jump in
It just froze up. I said something about Chain of Memories when we were at that chest last time, and Aiden flinched. I don't remember what I said about Chain of Memories.
I think you just said Chain of Memories, and it just.
Hey, look, there's people here, and they have different dialogue.
Hey, look, guys, it's the chest where the balls came out of the wall. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. I'm gonna go somewhere else now. Because we've already gotten all these chests. When we load a safe file, we're gonna have it.
Yep, you died in front of the train last
Take
time.
the train. Yeah, it's great. That's awesome. I'm gonna get up on this train. Yeah, get up here. Get this thing. Get the thing.
Yep.
Put the thing on the thing. I can't get it.
There it goes.
I did it. Okay. We went
out
over
of
here
world
because I was like, it's gonna be
oh.
faster to take the train than it is to go through the tunnels, and I discovered the train wasn't here. Oh no!
No, you know it. You don't have to go up there now.
I have to because there's a lady I have to talk to because I can hear all the dialogue for 100% completion.
All
We'll
right,
never get the
what's she
secret
gonna
ending if
say?
we don't.
What's she gonna say?
I went up here and I stood here comically for a moment and I looked left and right. I was like, oh, there's no train.
This is all the youngsters
Youngsters
use
go to
tunnels.
trains
I'm
go for
too
that.
old. I'm gonna die any second now.
This is so chaotic.
No, it's because we're doing it good.
Oh, Aiden, you know, this is providence from God, manna from heaven that we had to cut that recording because now you're no longer embarrassed about forgetting the plot.
Hey!
Aiden forgot incredibly crucial plot information that we had to recap her on, and now you guys will never know what it is because that has been lost to the void of time.
You don't have to get it, Jacob.
I do
You've
though.
already gotten it.
Yes, I got it. Don't tell me what I have to do.
My foot cramped. I like flinched when I went.
Haven't seen you before. You've been to Sunset Hill? Oh yeah, the sunset is beautiful when you go. Even more beautiful when you go there with someone you love. Too bad she's in prison.
I just imagine. No, I just imagine that dude like licking his lips and looking at like Donald. Like.
Dog may be wandering around, but he always likes to come back home.
It's the garbage bag dog.
Dog, garbage bag dog.
He's the liar.
Hey, look, it's Nanako. I came here to see a train that doesn't have a conductor. Been in the entire day, not one train's gone by. So it
Yeah,
didn't
that's
happen
all.
before, but when I came here earlier to do like prep work, because basically I played the entirety of the ending of this game so that I could approximate the time that it would require so that we could plan out today and hopefully be as efficient as possible. And now we've blown 40 minutes because we have to replay it because we lost audio. So that time estimation is now useless. But when I was here and I talked to her,
late.
when I was here and I talked to her, one of the normal orange trains came by, so she's full of crap.
Yep, that little girl is a liar. Burn her.
I think that might have been a glitch because freaking the trains aren't supposed to be running right now, but whatever, it doesn't matter. They totally happened. I swear it was there. I saw it. Anyway, now we gotta go back through the
now
tunnels.
we're back in the tunnels.
Yay!
We can't glide, so we really can't go fast right now.
Gotta go fast! Gotta go fast! Gotta go faster, 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 faster! Sonic X!
Since we've blown through all our dialogue, let's just talk about Sonic X. Remember that time there was robots?
Remember that time when Sonic raced a super fast race car? And he was
That wasn't once. That happened in the first episode.
I didn't know that happened multiple times.
Dude, okay, the first episode,
Know your
he's
stuff,
like,
you scrub.
so here's the thing, hey,
I'm not up and up on the Sonic X lore.
Hey, you know,
Make some notes.
no, I'm up
loser.
on it because I have the first 2 episodes on
There's one up there, I have to get it. I didn't get this last time. This
you
is
sure
why.
didn't.
Manna from heaven, providence from God. I'm gonna get this one.
So I have the first episode or first 2
don't have
episodes
the
of Sonic
thing.
X on
Ooh.
Game Boy. Like, you remember those little gray Game Boy cartridges that had
Yeah, that had
stuff?
cartoons on them?
Oh
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
trust
exactly.
me, it looks real bad on it.
Yeah, but that was a good idea though. It's like, you know, so like,
It's
number
on
one
t-
to make product, number
Yeah.
one to make money. It's like if you don't have a little portable DVD or VHS player for your car or whatever, you buy a Game Boy Advance cartridge that has like 3 episodes of SpongeBob on it.
Yeah, but okay, here's
This is before your time, baby.
So here's
It was not before.
Just
Leave
John,
me
I'm
alone.
joking around.
we're diving into the lore, okay? So, you know Japan,
How does
everybody
insulting
owns a
my
car
age?
in Japan, right? You know how everybody does, and the streets are super popular, and people actually drive, and it's a big thing over there,
Yeah,
right?
everybody drives all the time.
Yeah,
Nobody
right.
commutes in
Well,
Japan. Nobody drives the train.
because of the threats of high-speed like gangsters or whatever, there's a squad that's been formed of people that have cars that can like break the sound barrier in Japan, and they use that to try to catch up
Chase
to
down
Sonic.
street racers.
Yeah, but then it turns into
We gotta catch Sonic.
So there's like 5 of them. 4 of the cars are white, and then the leader man has a red one.
I
And-
can't believe Hayner Pence and Olette are dead.
Are you alright?
No! Oh god.
So anyway, that's the first episode, but that happens a bunch of times. I remember one time he was like, "Sonic, I can beat you. We're gonna have like a cross-world like desert race." And then it's
Joey,
like,
for the sake of the audience, we have to pretend we're watching this scene.
oh man,
You guys didn't have to go
they didn't. Hey, they fought the nobodies and they didn't do so well.
Kyrie's our friend too, you know.
No, she's not.
Aiden was skeptical of that statement.
I'm still skeptical of that statement.
They hung out for a day in the manga, but not in the
They
game.
had a scene in the
Like
game.
that before.
Because you don't think, Sora. You don't use your brain.
Because she's mine and nobody else's.
We thought this place
I
might
can't
be
have her,
a
no
gateway
one
to
can.
Some kind of
That was Riku's attitude, Aiden. You're forgetting which character is which.
I wasn't talking as Sora. I was talking as me.
Oh, got it.
I made that pouch myself, and I still have it. So there shouldn't be two of them here.
She did a good job making that.
Yeah, she's very
well
talented.
made.
Oh, that's very talented.
It's the only one of its kind. Same for the crystals. Red, blue, yellow, green. Only one of each color. But you've got your own.
So, where'd you get it?
The pouch is from the king.
Yeah, this is the kind of, it might partially just be that it's a bit overly verbose, but like the fact that he had to stop and say all of those colors, like a more succinct script would just say, and each of those crystals is one of a kind, right?
Where did the king go?
It feels like, the script has to stop and, kitty safe itself sometimes, but then it's also like we're dealing with like the most complex plot ever. It's just, I don't know, whatever.
Everything makes sense.
So the point that I made last time, which I'll say again, and there won't be as much shock and awe this time, unfortunately, because you guys already know it, is the structure of this game is interesting. Let's put it that way. Let's be kind. At the beginning of this game, there's the Roxas sequence, and then Sora wakes up and leaves the manor, and he finds Hayner, Pence, and Olette. He buys a train ticket. When he buys it, he pulls out the money pouch. Olette sees it and pulls out her money pouch. Goofy comments, they're the same, and Olette doesn't say anything. She just kind of nods her head. Then they go see Yensid and get plot information, and they go do Disney stuff and fighting organization members for a while, right? For like 10 to 20 hours. Kairi gets kidnapped. We go back to Twilight Town. Kairi was kidnapped by Axel, but it seems like maybe like he got in trouble with the organization and they have her in custody now. What's going on there? Whatever. They pull out the trophy and they see the extra red crystal orb that confuses. They don't comment. It's just there, right? Because they have the blue orb from the money pouch. Because Roxas lost both of them to a man in a cloak during the Roxas sequence, right? And then Mickey gave them to us at the beginning of the game. I remember the guy stole the money to stop us from leaving town, and he was kind of tossing it up and down, and then later on he has the crystal too, for whatever reason. And then Mickey gives them to us after the Roxas sequence is done.
He stole it because the beach was too dangerous to make, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because like that would have been more stuff to construct within the digital Twilight Town, which would have increased risk of infiltration or whatever. Anyway, which we didn't know that at the time because we didn't know it was a digital orb, but that was what he was getting at.
Yeah.
Anyway. So they drop the crystal and they all do the little sun gazing thing. Then we go off and do the Battle of 1,000 Heartless. Syax is like, we'll ensure Axel gets in trouble. Don't worry about Kairi. We're taking care of her. Do you want to see her? Show me how important she is to you. And Sora gets down on his knees and begs, please take me to see her.
Yep.
And he's like, haha, I was punking you. But it's good to know that you're a wimp. Then Sora winds up in untextured space with Donald Duck and Goofy in that black room. Some guy in a cloak.
Like you said Donald Duck and Goofy, like three different people.
Oh well. They wind up in the room with the guy with the black cloak, as there are many of them, and he leaves behind a box that contains a picture of Roxas and the crew in front of the mansion. It's the picture from the digital world, and also a single bar of ice cream, right, which Donald eats.
Yep.
Then we spend another 10 to 20 hours doing Disney stuff, and now we're here, and Goofy's like, we're here because of this picture we got 10 worlds ago, right? Let's go find this mansion that we began the game in. So, like, in terms of the actual important plot beats of this game, here's what we've got. Sora wakes up, receives this money pouch. Olette notices it and thinks it's suspicious. Later on, they encounter Kairi, and weird mystical shenanigans happen with a guy who can teleport out of nowhere. They then see another one of the one-of-a-kind crystals. Then Donald, Goofy, and Sora get a photo of this mansion and an ice cream bar that tell them to come investigate this location where these other characters have posited that there must be another version of Twilight Town where there are other versions of these things. And perhaps that's where Kairi's gone, right? Those are the only plot relevant, again, I've talked about the difference between story and plot. In terms of individual elements that have moved us from scene to scene, that's all that mattered. If we had just had, we could have virtually not left Twilight Town. If we had gone to see Yensid and then they'd found the box and said, oh, let's go back, and Olette had just spoken her mind about, if Olette had spoken her mind about the wallet immediately, as opposed to going, that's weird.
40 hours saved.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, this game is fun. We got to go do lots of fun stuff and have cool boss fights. I'm just saying that unlike the previous game where there was a clear linear progression of we have to get to the other side of the map, this was all to get us back to where we started with a really, really loosely compiled group of Sherlock Holmes clues that really don't work super well.
Hooray.
Anyway,
now we're caught up.
Sora doesn't get it.
Must be where whatever's missing from here went.
Like Kyrie.
I get it.
And the joke that I made, that rather my brother made when we were taking notes on this was,
Oh, that's
that
bad.
looks great.
Still looks real bad.
yeah, that looks awful. Oh, now I get it. I get it because you said Kyrie. I know who that is. Now I understand.
I know that word.
I know what that word mean. That mean girlfriend.
Yeah.
Alrighty, here we
hey,
go.
look, Mickey's back.
And now Mickey's back.
Yep.
It's unfortunate because we just did this 10 minutes ago, so now we're kind of sandbagging this all a little bit.
Oh well, we're getting to the meat of it quicker, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit quicker.
Yeah. So remember that time in Sonic X when the second season starts out with genocide?
Hell yeah. Was that the second season or the second half? Hold on, before we move on to genocide, because Aiden is really confused, I need to explain the thing. The reason I brought up the
I'm
racing
so glad
guy.
somebody looked at me going, what is going on?
So the reason I brought up the racing thing from Sonic X is I remember the episode where he races the guy in the supercar, right?
Yep.
And it looks like they're kind of neck and neck for most of it.
Oh,
and then
and
at the very
yeah.
end, the guy activates his super ultra thrusters and goes like 5 times faster. And then it looks like it's like almost a tie, but they play back the super slow-mo camera, and Sonic literally ran ahead of the car, past the finish line, posed, and then ran back for an encore.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, so this whole episode was a complete waste of time.
Absolutely. Yeah, no.
Anyway, tell me about genocide, Joey.
No, I don't remember much. Hey, he did it. I don't remember too much, but I remember second part starts.
Yeah, like the second. It wasn't like the second season.
Second
It was
season.
like Sonic X Shippuden.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, hey, look at this space fleet. Look at this Star Wars space fleet and of people, and this robot kills all of them.
Hell yeah.
I got something to tell you.
The first half of the show takes place on Earth with like normal Earth problems, and then after that they're like, no, space.
Remember when that girl that Shadow kind of liked got eaten by a tree?
Yeah, that was great. Remember when Tails fell in love with the tree?
Oh man.
Aiden's I apologize, Aiden.
Oh no, hang on, no, legitimately with Shadow though. That show, there's one scene that has...
No!
There's one scene...
She had a drink. It didn't go well for her. She didn't spit. She kept it down.
There's one scene that has the best line Shadow's ever said. He's like sitting at a space bar, and the guy's like, so tell me, what was the happiest time of your life? And he's sitting there with a drink, and he just says, being dead.
What?
So Shadow was dead for a while, Aiden. It's a long story.
He's been dead a few times, admittedly.
He's been dead a couple of times.
I found out where Ansem
Now
is.
the franchise.
Ansem the Wise, the real Ansem. He snuck into
Shadow
all
died,
the
and then the
Ansem
franchise did.
stronghold.
Direct correlation.
And we've figured out where Kyrie is. I'm pretty sure we're right.
But why'd you all come here?
Why'd you come here?
Yeah, that was that's what I wrote down, which we already did this, but like, as you guys pointed out on your own, it's like, why'd you all come here, he asks. Why did you come here, Mickey? Also, how did you find out where Ansem the Wise went? Also, where has Ansem been for the last 40 hours? Has he been hiding in their stronghold the whole time? Also, Mickey, what have you been doing for the last 20 hours? Or the 20 hours before that? I'm sure you were doing something really important.
Right.
Well, Your Majesty, Sora thinks it might have been Riku.
He had a feeling about the guy who left the box with the ice cream in the photo behind, that he felt like it felt like Riku. It smelled like him.
You mean Riku's okay?
No.
I made that joke at the time. If that's what you
Waited
think.
long enough, Your Majesty. Tell me what you know.
It's not for me to say.
But Your Majesty, why?
Yeah, we just kind of groaned when he said that.
Yeah. There was some serious frustration from this other side of the room.
So he's okay. I can see him again.
Huh? Who's Riku?
And this was the thing that I was talking about before, where like, I'll wait until we're in gameplay so we can speed this up a little bit, and I'll do it while we're walking and talking.
Your Majesty? You got the pouch with the crystal from Riku, didn't you? And you promised not to tell, right?
Gosh, guys.
Olette's like a genius.
Yeah.
Can we have like a spin-off about Olette solving mysteries or something?
Her keyblade is just the bat.
The bat with so she has the bat, and then the keychain is like a magnifying glass for her detective capabilities, right?
Yeah.
She's like a dirty cop. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not gonna read all of these. I'm only gonna read the ones that are interesting. I'm just gonna make sure that like the audience can read them. But the thing I was gonna say about Riku, that's like, so this is something that I talked about just a second ago, where this is a limitation of the script, where like they don't say die or killed. Sora, like last time Sora saw Riku was him getting sucked into hell, right? And not knowing if he would ever get back out. Got it. Didn't even need the glide. Didn't even need maxed out double jump. And Mickey's here, but all he gets about Riku is like some cryptic dialogue from mostly villains, right? Sora's fear is that his best friend is dead. And that's gonna be that context is gonna be really important for some things that happen in the story soon, but he never says those words. No one ever says those words.
Yeah, well, I was commenting how, like, maybe I just forgot, maybe we talked about it before, but it's like, until he said that, I was like, I didn't realize that he actually was thinking that Riku might be dead.
Yeah, because again,
like the whole time I was like, I'm looking for him. I was like, yeah, he knows he's alive for some reason. And you've
played. The other reason is you've played Chain of Memories.
Yeah.
So you know that he already did. Remember when I talked about during, or like at the beginning of this game, the beginning of this game during like right after the Roxas sequence, like how at the time when you play Reverse Rebirth, it's like, oh, this is a really good story with Riku doing his thing and like, you know, having this relationship with Mickey. Then you realize, wait a second. That means that the main dramatic hook of the first game is invalidated.
Yeah.
And so, like, Sora doesn't know. He knows that Mickey's alive, but Mickey wouldn't really talk to him and was being mysterious at the beginning. So, like, what's the deal? And the main thing I was talking about was, like, you're not going to get upset with me this time because you already had the conversation. But after this cutscene, because there's going to be some talking. There's going to be some talking I got to read. I got to read, guys. I'm really good at it. As you all know, I'm a great reader. There's got to be a computer somewhere. Ha-ha. A computer. Do you think it's connected to that other Twilight Town? It might be. And there should be a way into the realm of darkness there.
Okay.
Yeah.
The chandeliers have candles, but you're expecting there to be a computer here.
Riku told you that, didn't he? Please, Sora, I made a promise. Aha! I knew it! Hey, stop pestering the king. I think the implication is supposed to be that Mickey has insider information about the contents of this mansion. Right, sorry. Also, I'll point out again, Sora should know exactly where the computer is because he would have had to walk past it.
Yeah, coming out of it.
Like, it's really dumb. And the other thing, before we move on, was we gotta go back outside here and read a good line of dialogue that I appreciate. We read before, so there's no longer any excitement because you guys have seen it before. We're almost blind, everybody. Don't worry, Aiden and Joey are almost blind on this.
We are
dead,
almost caught up.
I don't think that those white things will attack us for a while. So you can take your time searching the mansion.
Thanks.
My favorite part of all this is I'm looking and we have not saved any time.
No, we haven't.
Despite going faster.
Well, the recordings mess up because it started a bit later in that time file. But anyway, don't worry. We'll just stand guard here. Go check out that mansion. Thank goodness, Hayner.
Yep.
I was worried, but now that I know you're standing guard,
we can rest easy.
Yeah, rest easy.
Because you did so well before we found you earlier.
So I talked about this on the Birth by Sleep streams that I did a while ago. They're like 30 hours long, so I don't blame anybody if they didn't watch them. But not all at the same time. Total 30 hours. I'm not that crazy. Across like 6 streams. But the thing I was talking about in that we had very many discussions about like how it's weird that these games censor themselves and avoid saying death when Disney movies are number 1 full of death and number 2 full of people saying death. Like people die and people talk about it. Like it's not unusual. And the example that I was giving very briefly was that I talked about on the stream was like because I just saw Moana recently and I was saying even though it's a movie for little girls, they still say die and kill a bunch in it.
Thank you for that edit.
And what?
You didn't call it a bad movie.
Oh, did I call it a bad movie?
The first time you called it
you said it was
stupid movie.
I said it was a stupid movie for little girls?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I said that, here's my point of saying it was a stupid movie for little girls. My point was to communicate that, like, it is not a sophisticated, dark film. It's not even Zootopia, like, which is still a kid's movie.
Yeah.
Moana is a children's film. It is it's a fine movie, but it's a children's film.
Yeah.
Was my point, and then it's still able to say, yep, she's probably dead. How do we get through this door? A human sacrifice. No, I'm just kidding. Lighten up a bit, says Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Mm-hmm. But this game that's like for teenagers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't say dead.
Riku's okay. I wonder where Riku is. I wonder if he's okay. Do you mean you wonder if he's alive, Sora?
See, I never got that impression.
Exactly.
Once. Yeah.
But like, I say that because there's some scenes that are gonna happen in this game that are bewildering.
Okay.
If you don't have that.
Yeah. Then
Hey,
I was
we're
like,
officially blind now.
I was defending myself to Aiden and saying like, no, Moana is like impeccably well produced. It is so well shot. That movie is impossibly gorgeous. I was like, there wasn't a moment in that movie from the script that made me emotional, but there were a couple of shots where I started watering up a little bit because that's the kind of thing that gets me as a film guy, where I'm like, this is so beautiful.
That was one of the things that got me, was like when angry lava lady,
the slow-mo sequence,
goes under the water and comes back up as pretty green lady.
That wasn't the bit that got me. It was the slow-mo sequence right before that was like, whoa, the lighting is going wild here. But anyway, and then I was like, but I just like the script could have used a couple of passes. Yeah. Like it really felt like, and we're back in nominations. We got the Chain of Memories command deck again, which I still think is kind of neat. But no, so the it's just a matter of like, I really feel like Moana could have used a couple more passes, because it really felt like, in many ways, a return to a Disney tradition of movies that are kind of only loosely connected throughout their act structure, like The Jungle Book, which is mostly like a series of vaudevillian sketches that are really only loosely stringing together to make a plot. Moana really felt like a slightly more advanced version of that, admittedly, but it was like, you know, this thing happens, then we move on to mostly unrelated scene and or incident, onto mostly unrelated scene and or incident, and it wasn't my big favorite. I enjoyed it. I think I was expecting too much because I watched it very shortly after watching Zootopia. I think, and I'd heard such good things about it, I think my expectations were out of whack.
Yeah.
I haven't seen either, so I have nothing to add.
That's fine. You don't gotta see them. You can see them if you want.
Gosh.
I love the way those guys spawn in on those stairs. That really...
That didn't look great.
I don't know what you're talking about. That looked awesome.
If that was intentional, that's something.
I think it was intentional, and I think it's the best part of the game so far.
Yeah, probably.
Oh crap, I tried to reflect and it did not work.
You did it the first time, but he got
I wasn't expecting him. I was like, oh, all these dusks spawned in, I'm good. And then he appeared afterwards. It was a feint. This fun time's happy.
Hey, Hainer, why don't you help us?
No, he's guarding the door, dude. Pay attention. He's covering the entrance. He's playing Siege right now.
Shoot.
We're roaming, he's defending.
Dude, if I ever tried to roam, I would just get splattered. I suck so much at Siege.
Just play it on PC, man.
Yeah, I would if, like...
And then die when you have a pixel sticking out around a corner.
Oof, yeah, absolutely.
We found it.
We didn't find it, Sora. You knew where it was.
I can handle
God, what a dumbass. Pence knows how to use computers. He's a nerd.
What? What?
This is established in the manga. It's not in the game.
Oh, what's wrong?
In the manga, Pence is like, dude, occult stuff and ghosts, super hype. I'm way into it.
Dude.
I love weird nerd stuff.
Dude, I feel him on an emotional level.
When he gets to this part, he freaks out because he's like, there's a Matrix, there's another digital version, I gotta get in there. I gotta see this for myself. This is a nerd's dream come true. I could be in a computer.
I can't go any further without a password.
His eyes really freaking me out right now.
He's got the fully, the face isn't fully animated, right?
Well, we only got this photo.
Yeah, the one Donald ate up.
It was in the box right next to the photo.
Hey, that's it. Ansem the Wise loved ice cream.
Okay, what's the name of the flavor?
Remember, he was eating ice cream in that meeting with Mickey.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Well, what's the flavor? The password's the name of the ice cream. Make sure you get it right. It won't take an incorrect password. Sky sugar ice cream, sea salt ice cream, and liver pepper. Guys, I really feel like I need to take some time to think about this, so we'll come back on the next episode of Kingdom Hearts 2.
Sounds like a plan.